boys and girls, another exciting adventure of science in pajamas. Oh my goodness, yes, I know, little dude. So I'm joined once again by my favorite little furry boy. Say hi, Ripley. Hi. I was gonna limit my mobility a little bit with this. That's fine, because he's cute. Alright, so today we're gonna be talking a little bit about taxonomy. So taxonomy is the discipline of classification. So using ways to classify organisms and identify them. So how we look at this is, well, first of all, a little bit of history. Really, dude. We attribute the study of taxonomy to Carolus Linnaeus. And he's the one who kind of came up with the idea of how we should identify as well as name things. Now we'll start with classifying. So we have what's called a hierarchical system of classification. That means that we start out very, very broad, and then we create these subcategories in order to have more and more specific ideas. So for instance, I'm trying to see if I have the one for doggers. No, I do not. All right. So for instance, there are 7 main levels. Now there are actually more levels than that because we have domain first, and then we have like super kingdom or sub kingdoms and things like that. We're only going to worry about the 7 main ones though. So what they are is, okay, goodbye. Yes, I see how it is. You want to go see your daddy? All right, so let's talk about this now. We have kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Now, I have a mnemonic device that I learned from someone else that helps me remember the order. Kings play cards on fat green stools. Kings play cards on fat green stools. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So kingdom is very, 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 very large, and species talks about only one type of organism. So for instance, we use the example of killer whales. They are in the kingdom Animalia. That includes all animals, invertebrates and vertebrates. So it includes sea sponges, jellyfish, insects, nematodes, planaria, birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, mammals. So it's everything that's considered an animal is in this kingdom. Now there are actually 6 kingdoms. There are 2 bacteria kingdoms. It's archaebacteria, which are the extremophiles. They tend to live in very, very, I don't want to say extreme, but yeah, extreme environments. So ones maybe without a whole lot of oxygen, or have a very, very high pH, or have extreme temperatures. And then you have eubacteria, which is pretty much all the bacteria we consider as bacteria are there. So like E. coli and all that. Let's see. And then we have Animalia, which is the animals. We have Plantae, which is plants. We have fungi, which is the funguses, mushrooms, and whatnot. And then we have Protista, which are the protists, and they include things like slime modes, kelp, amoebas, parameciums. All right, so let's continue talking about how we classify. So we said we're going to look at the classification of killer whale. They're in the kingdom Animalia. Again, that includes all of the animals. Well, let's go one step down. Phylum. They are in the phylum Chordata. So this is the phylum that includes organisms with backbones or kind of pre-backbones. There is the lancets, which kind of have similar to a notochord, but not a true backbone, but they're still in this phylum as well. And then it includes all the things that we consider as vertebrates, sorry. So birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, mammals, all that. All right, so we still have a rather broad topic. So let's go down one more, class. Killer whales are in the class Mammalia. So these are all of the vertebrates that are warm-blooded. They have live births. They produce milk to nourish their young. All right, well, let's keep going from there. Order. Let's see. CA. So these are a lot of the ocean-going ones, the whales and whatnot. So whales, dolphins, killer whales. That's what a lot of this is going to include. So now we're not talking about any of the land mammals. So no humans, dogs, bears, cats, etc. The family, Delphinidae, So now that takes us from every single whale, dolphin, etc., down to just dolphins and killer whales. So there are different species of both of those. So that's what we're looking at. So dolphins, killer whales, varying species of each one. The genus, which is Orcinus, and so Orcinus, that's gonna be the different kinds of killer whales. So there are slight differences in species if they're Atlantic versus Pacific and things like that. But now we're not considering any of the dolphins at this point. And then species, Orca. So Orcinus, Orca, these are the last two. This one is talking about a particular example, a particular species of killer whales. So we went from super duper broad, the kingdom Animalia, meaning all animals, down to one particular species. And that's how this hierarchical system works. Now, to go along with this, let's also talk about how we name organisms, the scientific naming. Now, we call this binomial nomenclature. And what that means is binomial means two names and then two words, and then nomenclature refers to naming. So we're looking at two words naming system. And what we use for that are these two right here, the genus and species, because that is very, very specific. Like we said, all this up here is very general, very broad. But by using the genus species name, then that gives us a much more direct understanding. So, a killer whale's scientific name is Orcinus orca. Now, how you typically write this, especially if you are on a computer, it's italicized, and you always keep the genus as capital, and then species is lowercase. So, Orcinus orca. Sometimes it can even be abbreviated to just the genus name as just the first letter, period. That's actually how we have E. coli. E. coli is not one word. It is capital E period space coli. It stands for Escherichia coli. So that's the genus species of that particular bacteria. Humans, we are Homo sapiens. We look at the entire breakdown: kingdom, Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, primates, or I always heard it as primates. I'm not sure if it's primata, hominidae, Homo sapiens. We can even break this down for gray wolves: Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, Carnivora, Canidae, Canis lupus. And then for their scientific name, Canis lupus. Last two. All right, so I hope that helps you with taxonomy, the hierarchical system of, and then going all the way down to the naming system using binomial nomenclature. If you have any questions, let me know. Hit me up in our Google Classroom or in my email. Until next time, you guys, stay healthy and stay safe. Bye-bye.